Hello, my name is Matthias Samwald. I'm Associate Professor at the Institute of Artificial Intelligence at the Medical University of Vienna. And among the many things we and our research group are interested in is, of course, the application of these rapidly advancing AI systems in developing novel therapies, but also in improving medical decision-making, so both accelerating how new therapies are being developed, but also how then, and optimizing how therapies are then deployed in practice. And we can certainly say that the progress in the last years, especially in the last 1.5 years, has been astounding. For example, you see here one of those many graphs that are very popular in the field of AI right now, kind of a curve that is just going from the bottom left to the upper right, a benchmark result. What you see here precisely is a benchmark that tests for the ability of answering medical questions. And those are the questions that physicians in the United States have to be able to answer to then be accredited as medical doctors. And you can see that over the last few years, this curve went really up, and you see also 60% mark. The 60% mark is where you are actually then receiving the passing grade as a medical doctor. And recent systems are now exceeding this passing threshold. Of course, you might say, well, medical doctors, they have many tasks. They are not solely diagnosis machines. They are also, of course, providing human connection, empathy. But then, of course, someone now recently conducted another study comparing the empathy of responses to medical questions from patients, from human clinicians, and from AI systems. And surprisingly, or maybe not so surprisingly, we also see that the responses from the AI systems did not only exceed the clinicians in terms of the correctness of answers, but also in the ratings of empathy. So what is actually secure from artificial intelligence, one might ask here. And I see that this is still a topic of wide controversy. So I think some people would probably say, yes, we saw a lot of growth in capabilities, but this approach will be limited, like so many approaches where we felt, well, we are seeing exponential progress. Of course, it will flatten out at some point, and probably we have reached this. But then other people, and I'm belonging to this second camp, believe that it is very likely that we will see this rapid progress continuing for the next few years. We will see increasingly AI systems that exceed the knowledge, the reasoning capabilities, and the speed of humans along many important dimensions. At the same time, however, they might still fail also, maybe unpredictably, along some other dimensions. And I don't know, maybe if I could devote 1 more minute of why I'm in this second camp. So I think people who think that we are kind of reaching some kind of ceiling, they have many different arguments for this. One particular argument is that these machines are only trained on human language, human text, and they are just interpolating between what different humans say on the internet. And this is how we arrive at what we are seeing from these AI systems right now. But even if that would be the case, a machine that can interpolate between the intellectual output of not one person, but thousands and thousands, tens of thousands of persons across many domains, and do so not at the speed of a human, but at 10,000s of times of the speed of a human, that alone would already be very much exceeding the capabilities of a single human or of a small group of humans. But I also think that this is a far too limited view. I think we have an increasing body of evidence that shows that these machine learning technologies are not merely interpolating. And I don't think we would see what we are seeing from these frontier models like GPT-4 if they were mere interpolators. there is increasing evidence that they are actually capable of meaningful extrapolation, meaning that they can tackle problems that you have never seen before. And even if you say, but this is very limited, you can only extrapolate so much from the data that you have, there's still more approaches on the horizon that can even go beyond that, where you do not have only this limited set of data, but you let AI systems explore by themselves or generate their own data by their own reasoning and learn from that, basically bootstrapping their abilities to become better and better. And of course, with great power comes great responsibility. And even if you don't think that the systems become much better, you probably still see that even today's systems are already maybe something that one can be worried about. And what are those dimensions? How truthful are these AI systems? How good are they explaining why they are making certain predictions? How robust are they? Maybe they work in one setting, but then if we deploy them in another setting, for example, in a new situation with a patient, maybe they unexpectedly fail, and this could be catastrophic. And then there are also, of course, concerns about biases or their alignment to ethical principles. So if you think that we are in a world that will increasingly be influenced and maybe even dominated by AI systems, all of these are very important concerns. And they might also be increasingly concerns, not just because the systems are failing, but maybe also because their control is aggregated to a few actors that have maybe certain perspectives on reality or maybe certain agendas. So how, as humans, or how as someone who is not working at OpenAI, how can we train, evaluate, and control, and then hopefully also trust such systems that are getting better and better by the week, and that are increasingly difficult to check? And this is the problem that is called scalable oversight. Why scalable oversight? So if you have the classic approach that basically we are humans and we're creating AI systems, the AI is generating responses, and then we are kind of judging those responses, are they good or are they not? And this is quite easy with simple tasks like deciding, is this picture a picture of a cat or a dog? And if it's a cat, we can see it's a cat, and if the AI says it's a dog, well, stupid AI. But as AI is increasing its capabilities very rapidly, our ability as humans, or a small group of humans, to generate feedback and critique stays the same. And it's getting more and more inadequate until we reach some point where we cannot really have the capabilities anymore to meaningfully critique the responses that very advanced AI systems are giving us. So what we rather would want to have in the ideal world would be some kind of setup where critique and the capabilities to critique and the capabilities to generate grow alongside each other. And we are always neatly positioned ourselves in some way with greater capabilities to critique than to generate intrinsically. So we just have smarter systems that are doing critique, and all the AI systems that we want to use are just less capable, and so we can judge them and trust them. And this is done increasingly, actually. In the real world, for example, the critique model right now is often the best AI model that we have, like GPT-4 is probably one of the best AI models publicly available right now. And these very capable models are very much now used to train and evaluate smaller models that are less capable, like for example something that you can run on your own computer, or something that is developed open source, not with the resources of OpenAI. Those developments very much profit from having this high-level AI as a critic and evaluator. It really speeds things up. But this is, of course, not really solving our original problem. Our original problem was that we are wanting to use those frontier systems like GPT-4 now and GPT-5 or other successes in the future, but also be able to kind of evaluate, critique them, and then hopefully trust or maybe mistrust them without the capabilities, with lesser capabilities. So this is the challenge that we are facing. We are basically running after those frontier models increasingly, but at the very least we want to kind of be able to keep pace a little bit, even though we are running after them, so to say. And this is kind of the hard problem of scalable oversight. How to bridge this gap between the lesser critique model that kind of is always trying to catch up with what we are creating next, with the frontier. And in our research group, we are trying to investigate and at least partially solve this problem. That is at the core of how frontier AI systems are being developed and how they are deployed. There are many different strategies that one can have here. So just to give you an idea, the basic setup is that, you know, we have different entities. We have this very strong AI system, and then we have the user. And the approach that we are now taking is that we have some in-between system that we can, AI system that we can control, that we call a safeguard AI system, that helps us with evaluating these primary AI systems. And you know, users are flawed, the safeguard AI system is flawed, and the primary AI system, this super strong AI system, is flawed. But all working together, we can hopefully create something that is better than each part. And just to give you some ideas, so my time is at the end right now, some of the strategies is very important, for example, to obviously require evidence. You know, just do not take it for granted what the AI system is telling you, but ask it to give evidence, and then you can check this evidence. And if not everything is called by evidence, well, maybe there's a hole in the reasoning. Also require rationales, not just an answer, but, so to say, an explanation. Why do you make this answer? And if you ask the AI for those two things, you then can check for the consistency, like, does this all fit together? And this, very importantly, requires that you have an interactive system. You just don't have a one-shot answer, but you're able to kind of have follow-up questions and corner this very strong AI system if it tries to tell you something that is not correct. A very important ingredient of this is also to have humans in the loop. So the humans still, obviously, even with very advanced AI systems, can bring something to the table that can greatly enhance this. And yeah, what I'm hoping to see and what me and my group are hoping to develop are solid strategies. So here we see some example in a medical domain of how something like this could look that will help us train, create, control, critique, and then hopefully trust, or maybe sometimes mistrust, the powerful AI systems in the future. Thank you.